is Mandela Chwete, and I'm a journalist in Cape Town. I mostly write about crime, but now I have now delved to other beats. Like today, I was covering the budget, so that will also form part of this conversation. Um, my guests are JJ. JJ is from Fight Against Crime, South Africa. It's a new organization that was launched. Was it this year, JJ, or was it last year? But
Yes, officially.
JJ will
Yes, yeah.
actually tell us more about his organization. And then also we have Lumkile. Lumkile is part of the CPF in Makhaza. So he will also be telling us about what they're doing in Makhaza. But let's start with JJ. JJ, welcome. And can you tell the viewers who you are and what the group represents, and also when you started the organization and why?
Okay, so Fight Against Crime actually initially started. Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank you for having me, and congratulations on your launch of your new show. You can call it that. Very proud of you. Very, very, very proud of you. I have also been following you since we first interacted. But anyway, so with regards to Fight Against Crime, Fight Against Crime first started as a WhatsApp group actually. Um, so it was a WhatsApp group or crime groups, and it was mostly focused on the shootings on the Cape Flats and so forth. So anything that occurred in the Cape Flats, in your Mannerbergs and Overparks, Lavender Hills and so forth and so forth, people would report their shootings, and then the admins of these groups would then dispatch services. So services like, for example, fire, ambo, SAPs, law enforcement, whatever the case might be. What was unique about the crime group was the connections and the relationships that we had with law enforcement, with SAPS, direct members on the ground. So essentially, what would happen is the admins would dispatch the services, get the reference number, we would record it, and then at the same time, we would contact whoever we have, maybe from flying squad or whatever, to say, look, here's a shooting. These are the suspects. They got the stop on that, depending on the information that our members provide us. And then we would obviously pass that information along. The idea was to maybe cut down on the response times and so forth. But there was also a paper trail to the dispatch because there's a reference number, right? So in each reference number, you have the address, you have the details, and so forth and so forth. And then we would then provide feedback, or we would ask feedback from the community. Did something, did they arresting and so forth. And then what we would then do is then move that over and then provide reports back to say sepsis on scene or whatever the case might be. So the general community that's surrounding and the general community that is there or that's following would see. It has become so vital to a point now where I'm going to go now into how it became an organization. But I just want to touch on this in the sense that it became so vital that the shootings occur so frequently that people will look at it before they leave for work in the morning. For example, they will look at their chats before they send the children to school because they know, okay, if they're shooting, then it's another 30 minutes or so before SAPS is on scene, or 40 minutes. So it's before it's even for me to send my car to school, or for me to go to work, and so forth. Anyway, so as part of this, we grew and grew and grew. Our following grew and grew and grew. Because of what we were doing, and obviously we adapted to it and we obviously evolved into it. So we said, okay, we've got our members here, these are our admins, why don't we become a formal organization in the sense of either an NPO or NGO or whatever, and then we tackle these tasks because we've got the stats, we've got the numbers, we've got the connections and so forth. So maybe we can do something other than just the dispatching or just the evolve beyond the WhatsApp groups. So this year we were formally registered, and then that is obviously where the Exco came in. This is the original members that agreed to this. And from day one, the moment we were registered, because the idea behind it was to give us some sort of legitimacy to get into the spaces where your movers and shakers are. So, for example, your brigadiers and your generals, for example, your city council people, for example, your provincial people and so forth. And also gave us credibility with people as well, because how we knew that we were something else, that we evolved into something else, was that there was an incident that occurred, but we didn't report it fast enough because we were trying to gather the facts. And one of the comments that I read, under this incident or whatever, was that, yeah, but Fight Against Crime didn't post it, so we don't know anything yet. You understand? So we've now evolved into that type of organization, or that sort of community reporting group, where unless it's posted on our group or unless it's posted on our social media or whatever, then it's almost like it didn't happen, or it's hearsay, or it's whatever. But at the same time, we also then realize that we have a huge responsibility, because look, we all have day jobs. All of this entire thing is voluntary. All right, we all have day jobs, we all do our own thing and so forth. So it's a huge responsibility, because just putting it out there to say, for example, there's a shooting or whatever, you could potentially save somebody's life. Them not coming into the crossfire or so forth. Us dispatching and us communicating with SAPs or whatever, and them catching a suspect with a firearm, that could have potentially saved somebody's life. You understand? Because that suspect didn't have an opportunity to shoot. But anyway, so it eventually started off as a WhatsApp group, and then it evolved into a formal organization. And now I think we may be some sort of pressure group, I guess, because what we then do is we've decided to look, just putting our statements and so forth. It's nice to read, but maybe we can start engaging with the various departments to say, like, if we contact law enforcement, what leap deployments do you have in this area? This is the numbers that we have.
Okay.
Can you guys assist?
Okay.
What do you guys do?
I'm gonna pause you right there, because I want us to circle back on that. I just want you to, at a later stage, just to explain that in detail, and also because you've been calling for the army to come to the Cape Flats. So we are going to unpack that also. But then I also want to turn my attention to Lumkile. Lumkile, are you still here with us? Lumkile? Lumkile? Hi, Lumkile.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, do you mind just telling us about
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so Lumkile, we know that Makhaza police station is a fairly new police station. It hasn't been in existence for I don't even think it's been a year since its existence. Can you just tell us who you are and what you do in the CPF also in Makhaza?
No, okay. Hi guys, hi everyone. My name is Lumkile Sizila. I'm part of the Makhaza CPF new elected, was a new police station. I'm serving the desk of safety and security. Sorry, and also I'm not only the CPF, it was on the community. I'm a part of the community leader as called Usanko, same desk and safety and security. And also I have the own organization called Amadoda Growth, the organization organizing by men's, and a lot of campaigns. Just briefly on the Amadoda Growth, there are 5 campaigns. 1, gender-based violence and femicide, and 2, crime, and thirdly is substance abuse, and 4, unemployment, and the last one is men's health, and we're focusing on the mental health. But just your question in terms of the CPF, we want to change in Makhaza because we have a lot of cases of Makhaza, because Makhaza, we know most of the people come from Harare police station, but now we realize a lot of the cases of Makhaza, of Harare now is Makhaza. Now we went focusing in Makhaza and want to deal their issues. But recently we identify there are a lot of high rate of gender-based violence, women abuse, children abuse. So people are not reporting those cases. While we are working in the community, we want to do the awareness for the communities, because we thought the people don't have the lot information in terms of understanding those issues. If not reporting the abuse, maybe you are traumatized, and we need to do awareness like this coming Friday. We have a collaboration with Ilitala Bandu Yabonga and Nononceba, and we're moving around at Makhaza, and also have that motorcade. And also we want to go one of the areas, the different source talking about the problem of the gender-based violence, and their kids they raped long time ago, boss, and also the social worker, they remove those kids from that house. So we want on Friday to move and go last, or maybe 1:30 to go that area, go door to door in small area opposite the police station, and do awareness and education. Tara different each house we want to drop the material and educate, because that area is a problem of alcohol, the problem of a problem of abuse. So we want the collaboration of organizations and want to go that area, but we want to target those informal settlement, because we notice some of the informal settlement, the people are abusing themselves. So we as communities, CPF, you want to work closely with the community, but the community, you want to be free to share what's going on in their areas, and then to take and also the challenge of our police station. I want to be open, and there's no friendly police station, our Makhaza police station. People are complaining, especially if you do the calls at night, and the van is not coming, the receptionist is not welcomed. So there are challenges. We meet with station command and complain about those things, but it's not only those people. There are a lot of people are complaining about the police service at Makhaza. It's not friendly police. The few police is working hard. It's new police, but police station, but the police is not are working friendly and hard in terms of the fighting the crime of Makhaza. Yeah, I'm stopped there in terms of I'm waiting for the questions.
Okay, JJ
Hello.
is gone. JJ is just he left us. But I wanted to say I'm looking at my guests, and one is facing the shootings and gangsterism, and then the other side of the Cape Flats is gender-based violence. And let's first maybe look at the shootings. JJ, do you believe that the war against gangsterism will we ever conquer, or will the police ever get to a point where everybody says, okay, fine, now there are no flare-ups? I know there's an email that was sent by the police. I just want to go to this email and then just read a little bit of it. But it was last week. The police said that in ongoing efforts to deal holistically with serious violent crimes incidents plaguing some communities within the City of Cape Town district, a multidisciplinary policing approach is proving effective, with some hotspots showing stabilization. And one of those hotspots is Kailicha. And also then, however, other identified precincts still require intensified serious interventions. And then they go on to mention several areas, including Bishop Lavis, your Delft, and some other areas where there's been a lot of flare-ups. We've noted that Lenteghe is one of the areas that have suddenly, or maybe it's not sudden, but it had been quiet for a little bit. And then now we've got your Tafelsig, your East Ridge, Mitchell's Plain. In the last 2 weeks, there's been dozens of people that were killed. So is this being like, are the police making strides, or is it what else is needed?
First and foremost, if I may, Lumkile is his name, right? I just want to salute him for what he's doing.
Lumkile.
Lumkile, yeah.
Yes.
I just want to salute you for what you're doing. In this long fight of ours, it's people like you that make all the difference. So if nobody's here to you, I say we appreciate you and we appreciate the work that you're doing. Because especially with what you are dealing with, it's a whole different ball game entirely. But just touching on the war against gangsterism, is the police doing enough? Look, uh, they made that. They said that the police made that statement with regards to the crime in Cape Town, and they said that they're going to have a multi-stakeholder engagement, or how they're going to work together, whatever. But did we hear something like this before? Wasn't this supposed to be the AGU? When the AGU was formed, this is what that was supposed to be like. When the AGU was formed, they were supposed to be a task team that specifically deals with gangsterism, and they would then be supported by the likes of your social development, correctional services, and. So that was supposed to be what they are talking about now. But I mean, how long has AGU been in existence? And they're only now coming and saying, look, we need a different approach. You guys had a different approach, but you guys didn't support it. If you go and take a look, I mean, you don't even have to actually, go far. Just go to any one of the hotspots where, gang shooting has occurred. You will ordinarily see AGU come out because they need to investigate. Just something as simple as taking a look at the vehicles that they have. All right, you can see it's just old bakkies. You can hear by the sound that's not been maintained and all of these things. You can see that they're not equipped. They literally just maybe got their firearm and their vest, but they don't have like the basics. You know what I'm trying to say? And there was also a damning report by policing, the Committee for Oversight on Policing from Parliament, that the AGU is severely under-resourced. So already here, like you say, City of Cape Town, or the Cape Town district came out and said, no, we have a multidisciplinary approach. But you had that, you didn't support it. And now you are seeing the after effects of that. In terms of the war in general, and on crime and whatever, you see, SAPS is only an enforcement tool, right? They're there to enforce the law. The idea behind this is to ensure that they don't even get to that point where they break the law. You understand? Because SAPS can't be the ones to go into communities and assist with social development. SAPS can't be the ones to go into communities and assist with sports and so, recreational activities to keep the kids off the streets. SAPS can't be, they have a very limited mandate, and we put so much pressure on them, right? So I think with this whole gangsterism, war on gangsterism, if you're really gonna want to solve it, you need to start way before that. You need to start in the schools. You need to ensure that these areas where these hotspots are, you need to see that they have proper facilities, recreational facilities, soccer fields, rugby fields, whatever. I know that the City of Cape Town recently opened a field here in Manenberg, for example. Stuff like that, investment like that is what is required. Because, I mean, the gangsters and the shooters and the hitmans, you'd be surprised that these are 15-year-olds. These are 14-year-olds, even as young as 9-year-old. These are the role models. So you need to take that away. So my approach to the just, if I may briefly just give input on this. My approach to what would be my approach to the gangsterism would be, it's first and foremost, you need SAPS to go into these communities and remove these elements. All right, remove the gang leaders, remove the drug dealers, and so forth. As to whether they have the resources or something is a different conversation, but they would need to remove all these elements and so forth. All right. Once those elements are removed, you then, as the government, as social development, as basically just the society, you need to go in there and replace what has been taken away. Because what you have to remember is these gangsters that live in these communities, they are the ones that borrow money until SASSA pays out. They are the ones that, for example, assist with school clothes. They are the ones that pay for assist in paying for school fees. They are the ones that assist with money for food on the table. You understand what I mean? This is all things that, government tries to do through SASSA grants and so forth. But that is how embedded they are in the community, in the fabric of the community, that the community basically almost relies on them. You understand? The gangsters give these communities something to lose. That is why you have the situation where they don't want to talk out against it, because at the end of the day, these gangsters are their meal tickets. That's the sad reality about it. All right. So once you remove the bad elements from these communities, you then need to go in where that vacuum is, right? So obviously you're going to create a vacuum. You then need to go into those communities, build the schools, and have specific programs for these schools in these hotspot areas that is specifically targeted against anti-gangsterism. Go in and create recreational areas, parks and whatever, have programs around that. Sponsor the local soccer club, sponsor the local rugby club, and so forth. Go in and assist with rehabilitation, because while this is maybe a hotspot for shooting, it's also a hotspot for drug addiction. All right, so come in there with programs like that to get people off the drug addiction and so forth, and maybe rehabilitate them, and whatnot. So these are the kind of social interventions. I can list them and we'll be here all night, but you need social intervention in there. Now, the most important part, or the final part of this, would be investment to sustain that intervention. So what do I mean by that? A simple example is, if they're going to build a road or build a My City lane or whatever, use local labor. You know what I mean? Go in there and say, you know what, contractor, we are giving you this contract on the condition of you use local labor, use the local plumbers, use the local electricians, use the local whatever. Because if the community is part of building this infrastructure, you'll find it very rarely that they will encourage any sort of vandalism or whatever. You understand? And on top of that, it gives them a sense of pride knowing that they've earned an income that they worked for. So that is more or less where it is. So when they say that, when the SEPs comes out and they say that they've had some sort of intervention, you already have that tool, and that is the AGU. Just go and support that. You already have experienced members there, skilled members there. Capacitate them, resource them, and that is your tool that you need from a SEP's perspective. On the other end, however, social development does count. The idea is to get to these perpetrators before they become perpetrators, before they become gang members, before they become, hitmen or shooters or whatever the case might be. So that would be my input on that.
Okay. Lumkile, today, the Minister of Finance made promises, and within the allocation of the budget is GBV, right? Billions will be given to SAPs, and it's not only looking at gangsterism and anti-gang unit, but it's also looking at detectives. It's also looking at GBV, and so what I want to know is, these billions that are allocated to these policing precincts, are we seeing them? Is government really allocating real money, or is this money just on paper? Are we seeing enough campaigns? Is the message getting through to people that no to GBV? Is the message getting to the people? Oh, sorry, Lumkile, you are on mute. You're on mute, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, now we can hear you.
Yes. Hi.
We can hear you now.
Okay. Now, talk about the finance minister. Yeah, that thing is nice and beautiful. For me, the issue of the money, but that money is national. You need that money implemented to the provincial. And also the challenge, if there's a money, but they are failing of no proper investigation. Some of the investigators, there are a lot of cases, just take this case and moving and not follow up the case. Like example, we have the case on the 3rd of last month, April. April. That the rape case, and also that one is arrested on the following day. On the following day, the police they did not take that young boy to the cell, and they released that boy outside the police. The case is open. There's a case number, everything. Can we as activists, we are confused. What are police doing? The police are doing the hard work. We appreciate those police. Some of the police is not taking serious terms of the gender-based violence or the crimes our communities. Like example, if they have that a big amount, and their challenges first. The first challenge is no proper investigation. The second is justice delay. If you do something, people they raped. Example, Ongi is young. A woman is raped in Kailicha. A young boy is raped Ongi and more than 10 times in one night. Now that case is delaying it for this is 4 times today for the bail application. Next week again we're going to the court for the bail application only. What if you are there no support from different organizations for Ongi? Who's the lady or the girl of the woman to want to went to court every time to listen and or follow the case? Because the case of the gender-based violence is dragging in 5 years, and people are tired to go to the court daily. And also the investigators, we need to train and need more investigators. Thorough. Example, I follow this case of Ongi. The case of Ongi, I asked the investigator, do you follow all that move? That guy is raping Ongi. Those spot is raping Ongi in different spot because they took Ongi and moving rape Ongi in the bus stop, rape Ongi on the Chisanyama, middle of the night till to the informal settlement as well as in Kanini. I asked that investigator. There's no single day to take the move around with the car and check those spots, understanding have that picture in terms of Ongi's at the time is Ongi's rape is raped that guy, and also go that house. That house and the victim house is not a single time or single day to visit the investigated house, and also they lose only the underwears, they lose only the tracksuit or the tights. There's no one an investigator to go there and search that evidence. So those cases of rape is like if there's a man is there, but there's no proper investigation, we lose those cases. And also the justice is take too long in terms of the government is not prioritizing the gender-based violence because it's dragging on our magistrate in court. In terms of the money, we need that money to do a proper, give that organizations to do the thorough education, give the organization are working for the gender-based violence, they give the organization are working for the crime to do their work in the communities. Both the organization they know the problem, they know the challenges, they know how to tackle those things. But if the justice system is failing us and the police is failing us, we are nothing. The high rate is going up and up and up daily because the police, most of the police are corrupt. So the money is good, but we need that money invest to the communities. The community need to do something like what my comrade is mentioned earlier. You need the police not go to the sport field. We need us to go to advise the youth to do the sports and doing this and this and this to go down fighting the crime. But if the police want to move around all over, is not proper the work. We need organizations like us, need organizations like Little Abandu, like different organizations to do their work and support by the police, and need government strictly invest to those investigators. Our investigators is very poor.
So I sense that there is
Hello?
a little disconnect between departments. JJ, you mentioned the sports department. You talking about recreational services that could be brought in to fight crime. That's one aspect. But then also, Lumkile, you're talking about the court system, whereas, where if you are a victim of crime, especially with rape, you will then have to go to court more than 20 times, more than 100 times. And in that time that you go to court, you are re-traumatized because every time you go to court, you must see the perpetrator. You must relive the trauma or the pain that you went through. And also, I know Kailicha is one of the worst courts ever. Former Minister Bekele called it the bail court because it doesn't matter how many people you have unalived, you will still get bail. So I understand what you're saying, Lumkile, but is there maybe a dialogue between the organizations and the courts in Kailisha, and maybe just to say, look, we have a serious case of gender-based violence, and we would like to request that no bail for anyone who has committed such crime?
Currently, there's no dialogues. I think we, as Amado Dakota, we discuss about those things. We need to invite all of those government stakeholders, NPA, STS, the police, and need to under one roof and discuss those things. And also, we link, like Amado Dakota, we link some of the things in terms of unemployment, substance abuse, and the crime. And also, if not link those things, these are serious things. Because if you look, those guys are doing, maybe people are doing a crime, just moving the crime. You look those young boys, because I call those guys and sit down. What is the problem? And then you find out this guy, he have a criminal records for maybe a stolen in ShopRite or drugs, whatever. But it's not a touchable things. But what that young boy to go to find a work, but is the criminal records. But if the justice system or our government are not changing those things, I need those give the people the criminal records, and the people are doing the rape, the rapist, the hijacking the car, the killers. Those people are the strong things. But people are just arresting for example for stolen things in ShopRite, and then that guy is receiving the criminal record. That one is not find a job. They moving up and down, robbing our phones. And also, if in terms of the rape, because if you look, those are survivors. The survivors, after doing they rape and survive in terms of the rape, the government is not focusing those survivors. Only they focusing on those criminals. And those criminals, they have a lot of service in jails. Lot of service in jails. The priority is that one. They have rights, there's receiving the food, everything. But the survivor is not looking at the background of this woman. Maybe the background is very poor, and what can we assist in terms of the government to demoralize this problem? Because she is traumatized already. What can you assist in terms of to lift up, not thinking about the past of the rape? The government is not serious about things. Only the NGOs and Ononeba, Ilittle Abandu, and Music just supporting them in terms of the counseling. That's it. Why can you, where the government sit down and think in terms of supporting of the survivors?
Okay. And JJ.
Hello.
Somebody, thank you, Lumkile. JJ, someone is arrested with a gun. Someone is arrested after a shooting, and then later that day they're walking down the road, or the following day they're walking down the road. What comment do you have about that? And is there a necessity in having a conversation about these kind of things to avoid further distraction in the communities?
So, when we talk about things like that, where suspects are arrested, but then they're released thereafter. Now, in that sense, you need to talk about the technicalities. You need to understand the technicalities in order for you to understand what is exactly going on. All right. So, in layman's terms, when we look at sort of things, when we look at these sort of things, then we think, okay, wait, this guy got arrested and now he's released. How does that work? Why is it? So government doesn't come hard down on criminals or whatever. But the Constitution allows that guilty until proven, innocent until proven guilty. You understand what I mean? So in that situation, unfortunately, the process needs to follow. And my colleague here, my comrade here, says it very eloquently that the departments that matter are never at the Mbizos. All right. So your NPA is not in Mbizos. Your social development is not at Mbizos. your sports and arts and culture is not at Imbizo's, but it's always SAPS. It's SAPS, it's law enforcement, it's traffic, it's all these enforcement agencies. But the agencies that matter are not there. And we do need to have a frank conversation with definitely with the prosecuting authority, the NPA, and justice. Justice needs to come to the table because, well, why are these things happening? Surely you guys can, there are tools that you can utilize within the Constitution to protect us. You understand? You can't have a one size fits all. Every case must be treated by a case basis. I mean, if this person is suspected of shooting somebody, has got visible gang tattoos, has got this and this and this, surely the state must oppose bail and make sure that this person is not out on the street again. Because then they're just going to re-offend until such time as the trial concludes and they're found guilty. But that could be years down the line. By then it's already too late. So the institutions that matter, they are not coming to the table. They need to be at the table. We need to have a conversation with them. And ultimately, I think it's linked to CPF, right? They had an interesting call, and the call was to have a commission of inquiry into the gang violence and so forth. Now, why this is important is simply because there needs to be a spotlight on this. There needs to be a spotlight on gangsterism and crime and all these things, specifically in hotspot areas, because government or legislators need to formulate a law or some sort. I know they got the prevention of organized crime, but something specific needs to be put into law that gives SAPS and the necessary departments the power to deal with these specific incidences. Because this is a very unique thing. You can't have a SAPS member dealing with a GPV, for example, then having to go deal with, they just simply can't do everything at once. You know what I mean? Like the AGU, they specifically train for gangsterism. But there needs to be, like you have the FCS, that needs to be specifically dealing with child abuse, gender-based violence, and so forth. So they have all these different units, but they're not capacitated. And when they are trying to do their work, I mean, just speak to any police officer worth his salt. Ask them what the problem is. They'll tell you it's the law, it's the regulations, it's the Constitution. I can only do so much. Do you understand? So all these specific issues that we have, they need to empower these different departments to act on these things, to actively enforce the law and so forth. But anyway, once again, it goes back to the point that the prevention is better than the cure, all right? Because what we are talking about is the cure. We're not talking about the prevention of. You understand? And we need to some sort of have a conversation or change the narrative or sway public opinion that we should actually start focusing on the prevention of these things as opposed to the cure. Because if it's a cure, that means it's already infected, and you can have an uphill battle trying to deal with the symptoms instead of the root problems. But anyway, so that is my feedback on that.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to open the comments now and see if maybe anybody wants to ask a question. And as I have asked you viewers, please be respectful. If you have questions, please write them down. I'm going to open the comments now. And the moderators, please check if there are any questions. And yeah, then one of the moderators will come up and then bring whoever wants to come up, or if they're comfortable with the questions being answered from the comments, that is also fine. So let me open the comments and see if there are maybe questions. Okay, let's see. Anti-Wildlife, can you please come up and just tell us if maybe there's somebody that wants to ask any questions?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good evening,
Hello.
Anti-Wildlife.
Good evening.
Excuse me. Good evening, everybody. Just looking for questions, maybe.
Remember, we had closed the comments section, so we're opening it now just to see if there are any questions But I just want to thank you, my guest, for coming through. And I mean, it was short notice, and I really appreciate that. And we're going to try next time to have the police also as part of the panel. We will arrange that in the next few weeks. And I would really appreciate if you could come back and we can have another conversation, but then have this other side which we spoke a lot about, so we need to have them also to maybe try and show us the other side that we probably don't know about, So,
There's just one question that I maybe can ask while we're waiting.
okay.
If I'm talking to the two gentlemen, have you ever reached out to sports organizations like the councils or those people who are in charge of sports, just maybe to workshop people on these issues that you have at the moment? Lumkile, I don't know if you want to maybe elaborate on that.
Yeah, right now we no, the answer is no. But last week we met one of the coach of the club, and then we discussed. We wanted to discuss about the engagement, working closely with the sport clubs. And example, if there's a tournament sports, he told me there's a tournaments. So I want to grab that tournament to do some awareness, because those players, most of the players don't understand the education in terms of the gender-based violence, the crime, all those things. So you want to collaborate the different sport codes in one field, and have different speakers in terms of educate the youth about the social issues, in terms of the crime, the substance abuse, and the gender-based violence. But right now, the answer is no. But we plan in terms of discuss those things.
Because the reason why I'm asking is because you have a safety officer in each sports federation, and those sport federation must now go to the clubs and talk to them about safety in sports and all those kind of things. So yeah, that's why I'm asking whether you maybe engage with the sports councils and not with the clubs, because the councils can now go to the different other, to the clubs and to the federations and whatever the case might be, and maybe engage with them and workshop them on safety in all areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what they're saying. No, the reason we discussed about, but they come to me and report about few of the players, they using the drugs. So they want they want me to assist them in terms of to remove those young boys to the drugs. So I told no, is you need to just not identify three, and then identify those three, but I want to organize a lot of people and come and educate in terms of because if you identify three, but maybe it's not three, maybe it's more than three. Yeah, so why I want that approach to mix and do the collaboration of the sport and different speaker and speakers, different organizations, because he identify the problem of the players. I take it your point.
Okay. Charmaine, you maybe want to ask a question? I saw that you wanted to ask a question.
Good evening, Mandi. Good evening, panel. I'm a newbie on TikTok, especially with lives, but I'm a concerned citizen, and I've been following the Jocelyn Smith missing case, and I'm very concerned about, especially, I'm directing my questions at the shots fired guy, the fight against crime guy. How effective are CPFs in our communities? What is the state of health, and how effective are they in, as you say, prevention and the follow-up of cases, and how transparent are they, and what is the state of health concerning, say, for example, corruption in the CPFs and colluding with police officials, policemen, basically?
Okay, so how good or how effective are CPFs in certain communities? That depends on the communities itself, because you got to remember that the communities are the ones who put in there. All right. You got to remember CPFs are elected into the positions through the community participation. All right. So usually when a CPF is elected, the station commander will then request community assistance. Look, go around and get these people registered so that they can come to the AGM, let's call it, and they would then elect their members and so forth. So the community will be best placed to know who is worth it and who is not, who's worth being put in that position, who is not. All right. Um, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it depends on the community to keep them accountable. So if you have a problem with your CPF, you need to go to your station commander or your station and then go and complain or lodge a complaint or so forth. But essentially, what the CPF does is they are the link between you and SAPS. So if you are facing a problem, let's say a SAPS member refuses to open a case, all right, you will then consult with your CPF. Your CPF would be the go-between to try and mediate that situation. It's. I'm not trying to say that they must, some sort of be on SAP's side or whatever, but they are your link to SAPS. So if you have a problem, you would go to them. They will then escalate the matter for you, because as CPF members, they are well aware of the processes, or they should be, of the processes for complaint resolution. All right. So how effective are CPFs in communities? They are only effective as the community they're only effective as um, the community members that put them there. So you need to hold your CPF accountable. You obviously need to, ensure that you're at the meetings. You need to be the one to, as a community member, to ensure that they, engage with neighbor watches and so forth. And in terms of station level issues, corruption or whatever, it is up to your CPF to assist in rooting that out. So if you know that a police member is corrupt, you should engage with the CPF. If your CPF does not assist with that, then you have to take it a step above, all right? And then obviously engage with the relevant. So, people look at CPF members as this separate entity. They're not. They are there for the community. The community put them there. You understand? They serve the community. The community is their priority. That's why it's called Community Policing Forum. And they should be the link between you and SAPS, because there are certain processes and so forth that you need to follow. And ultimately, at the end of, I can give you an example of a very bad precinct, very bad, let's say, CPF, where they have a very, very, very bad CPF. And then you've got another precinct, again, that's got a very, very good CPF. The difference between the two is community investment. You understand?
Yes,
And
I
the one
understand. Yeah.
very bad, the community comes to the meetings, they get to know who the EXCO members are. All right, so EXCO members are only vetted after they elected. Do you understand? So it's up to the community to ensure that they know that the person that they're putting there is, with integrity and so forth. If you don't have that, unfortunately, you leave it open for, these unfortunate elements to infiltrate. So
Yes.
that will.
Thank you. That's a very good explanation. As I was saying, I'm a newbie, and I'm highly motivated because of the fact that I've been following the Jocelyn Smith disappearance, and there were many witnesses that were not called up. I don't know how effective the CPF is in that particular precinct, but it's very concerning, the seaboard activities and, for
Okay,
example,
Charmaine,
one of the ladies that was
Charmaine,
abused. But
I'm gonna ask that we stay on point on
okay,
the point that we
okay,
at. The Jocelyn matter is not on the K flats,
okay. So this is
unfortunately.
mostly about the
So they
case.
cannot
Okay,
answer on that. Thank you.
okay. Can I just quickly summarize what you said, just for my own self? The CPF in a particular
Charmaine,
precinct
Charmaine,
is effective as the
drop you,
community.
Charmaine.
Yes.
JJ has given you the response. So we're gonna look into other questions. There are questions. There's a question here, JJ, which is quite concerning. Mama Teacher is asking, why is it that people still need to wait and still get turned away when they're reporting a crime? And also, we can also maybe talk about when they go to the police for a missing person also. It's still an issue. And also, Lumkile, if you want to answer that, you're free to answer.
Lumkile, you can take this one. I can just jump in afterwards.
You're muted again.
Yes.
Lumkile,
Can you
yes,
repeat the
now we
question
can
again?
hear you. Now we can hear you. So my
Hi.
question, okay, a question that was asked
Yes.
here is, why do you think, in your opinion, why are people still turned away? Is it maybe lack of training for the police, because people are still being turned away when they go to the police to report cases, when they go to the police to report missing people and GBV also?
Or why the people? The people, some of the people don't have the confidence from the police. Example, if the people they have raped, asking why not go to the report to the police station, and the answer, if I went to the police station, I opened the case, and tomorrow I saw that one that suspect outside is moving around and threatening me. So why can I go and report the case? So they I don't know what is the government. Can we make sure in terms of the police, because the police, some of the areas, the people are not comfortable with the police. I'm not safe, some of the police, because some of the police is working close to with the drug dealers, work close to the criminals. So the police are not, the community is not, few people are understanding the police. Example, if I went to the police, I know my rights. If they go to the church office, and then one of the police I try to answer me negative, I jump and go there. I want to ask the station command, and then report the case immediately. Like I go, like if I'm going to the clinic and the nurse treat me negative, I go and check the facility managers. But the community don't know those things. You see, we need thorough education. The thorough education, we need those committee leaders to go down that information to the street committees. The street committees, if there's no street committee, need the street committees to educate their communities, because the community need the information. The people, they need to have rights to ask anything in the police station, have a right to receive any information. The people are not understanding those things. Why? Example, some of the cases, we are the activists. People they won the cases because of us, because we follow all the procedures. We went to the investigator. We need people in charge of the investigator. We go to the court. We want the court managers. We want there's the senior prosecutor. We want the meeting. We want the docket. We want to declare it, what's going on in this case. The communities don't know those things. We are the activists, you know those things. We want the justice, we want the answers. Before the case is carried on, we want what's going on. The investigation is thorough, everything is, there's no loopholes. The people don't know those things. Why? We need to educate the community to understand those things. Unfortunately, TAC, they trained me about those things. And now I want to take that information to transfer to the communities, to transfer to a comrade, to transfer to another organization, to understand those things. I don't want to keep that information and die. I want to share what is I learned from TAC the time we are fighting the gender-based violence. Now, why I'm an activist, I want to go out and fight for the community.
Okay, thank you. There's a question here that says, JJ, do police stations close at night? I've seen a video where in Maitland, the police station was closed.
And Fishhook.
So, yeah, like, do police stations
And Fishhook.
close? And if you get to a police station and it's closed, what should you do?
I don't know if you guys have heard about there was an incident a while back, and there will be a reason to why I say this. And there was incidences a while back, and I'm pretty sure if you look it up, it won't be that hard to find where SAP stations were robbed. All right, this is just how brazen these gangsters are and these criminals are and stuff like that. So to put that into perspective, you also got to understand that SAPs, while SAPs are SAPs, they are human beings. All right. One of the arguments that I've heard was that, for their own safety or so forth, they provide access control. Now, I'm not trying to defend them or whatever, but, we have to take the emotion out of it and think about it logically. So at night, obviously, SAPs will have some sort of access control into the station, so that, it's not a whatever, all right? But that's not the excuse I can understand them having access control, to the station at that time of the night, but you can't have a situation where a member of the public wants to come in and open a case and they get turned away. Or you can't have a situation where the access control is so strict that you physically can't access the station. You understand what I mean? So you need to be able to access the station. It can't be that the gates are closed and the gates are locked and SAPS members are behind the table or whatever. So that is just totally that's something else. But I just wanted to touch on what Lumkile said earlier on with regards to, I know that we're supposed to stay on subject, but the something very important that he said was education. All right, this goes in hand with your question. It's education. Education is the problem. How much if members here can tell me who the station commander is, can they tell me what the name of the station commander is? Can they tell me what the name of the CPF chief is? Can they tell me, do you know the name of him? Do you know what's his name? Do you know the number of your station, for example? Do you know these certain things? Missing people, there is no waiting time on that. SAPS must assist you. Cases and stuff like that, they need to assist you. Yes, unfortunately, there might be a situation whereby they will say, look, there is no grounds, for example, for this case to be open because there's no evidence or whatever. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe they do that for their own reasons. But I think maybe they should figure out another way to do that, because having to go into a station, try to open a case and get turned away, it makes you feel helpless. And you as a helpless person, you specifically go to the station to get help. You understand? So I think very vital to answer your question, and just to touch on Mukile's, education is key. You need to know who your station commander is. You need to know who your CPF chairperson is. You need to know, for example, who your neighbor watch person is. Do you know all these things? If you don't, then I think you should find out, and you should inquire by these people to say, look, I don't know X, Y, and Z. Can you please have an impezo? Can you please have some sort of meeting so that I can be educated on my rights when I go to the station? Because it's unfair that every time a crime happens, I go to the station, I get turned away. And then also inquire by your station commander when you find out what his name is. Inquire by your station commander, why is the station closed at night? You know what I mean? Maybe they can give you a better reason than I can. I can't speak on behalf of closed stations. But I do criticize it, because I feel like, if you close something up, it gives the impression that there's no access allowed, and that shouldn't be the case. A police station should be welcoming. And look, they are entitled to have access control, but not at the expense of setting up the sort of picture where you're not allowed or denied access or whatever the case might be. So education is very, very vital with your question and the previous one.
There's another question here that I would like both of you guys.
Can I chip in? Can I chip in terms of the close of the police station?
Yes, you may.
We as Makhaza, they also we received that information. The police station is closed at night, and then we went there when we saw that the police station is closed, and we met with the CPF with station commander, and we want the answers. And the station commander, they call all the in charge, and they want the information is true. And then the people, they are scared, and then are asking, where's the bulletproof? Where's the control access? And also our question, if the people is shot or stabbed, and then they try to climb the gate, and those thugs, and then and step again and passed away that gate, what's happening to the police? Why the gate is closed? Why not putting the security, or you putting the control, the cameras, the CCTVs? But the station commander will decide, and with agreement, the police station is not closed. Only that big gates, and the small gates need to open, and they need the police to wearing the bulletproof and using the CCTV and check what is the people are coming in and out, and sitting that side and close most of the doors, because if they're not raising those things to the station commander, the police station is almost the time is closed, and you need to expose those things and you challenge. And if the station commander is not taking the action, organize some few comrades and mobilize people and go and demonstrate outside the police station and complaining why the police station is closed in the middle of the night, because the middle of the day where the crime is doing different taverns, and people are running, went to the police station because they are scared, and the police station is closed. Why? We need I support comrade. We need the community to stand up and stood up and fight for the services. Yeah, thanks.
There's one question here that I would like you both guys to answer. What are the biggest challenges facing by law enforcement in combating crime?
Can you specify law enforcement as in terms of law enforcement, as in SAPS, Metro Police?
I think law enforcement
As a whole.
agency.
Maybe
I think let's look at it holistically, because we can't just look at the city of Cape Town. Let's just look at it holistically.
yeah.
Okay, so the challenges that they are facing is I think it's mostly around resources, right? Resources, upskilling, training, and so forth. I mean, we can poke at this the entire time, the whole day, whole night, as to what challenges they face and so forth. But I'll go back to what I said. At the end of the day, law enforcement, SAPS, whatever you wanna call it, they are an enforcement tool. You know, in terms of crime. Crime is not when it gets to SAPS, the crime has already occurred, you know, and you have so much of this that they can't keep up. But this is due to social ills. So let's say, for example, a robbery takes place. That is because somebody is stealing something. What are they going to do? They're going to sell whatever it is to get money to feed themselves. You know what I'm trying to say? And there are various other examples that I can make. So the primary challenges that SAPS faces is resources. They simply just do not have the budget. We had the budget meeting today. I'm still budget thing today. I'm still gonna listen to it, but there's simply just not enough resources. They just simply do not have the money for it. They simply just do not have the skills or the capabilities to it. Yes, we do have exceptional SAPS members and so forth, but we just do not. So the unfortunate reality is this, then I think SAPS is not the approach, or we should invest in SAPS, but I think SAPS is not the approach and where we should put pressure. Community and social development is where we should actually put pressure, because we have to work with what we have. Ultimately, in crime hotspots, in the top 30 stations and so forth, this once again goes to the situation of deploying army, deploying some sort of additional personnel. The reason being is SAPS just simply doesn't have they just don't have the resources. Let's put me and Lumkile's situation into play, right? Lumkile is fighting against GBV, right? He's got a GBV issue in his community. My community, I got a shooting issue, right? Another community might have something like theft or fraud or whatever. SAPS needs to take out all these cases. Now, on top of dealing with the shootings, on top of dealing with GBV cases, on top of dealing with rape cases, on top of dealing with fraud cases, theft cases, breaking cases, and all of these things, where exactly are they going to find the time to actually be effective? Do you understand? Because let's just my area, for example, right? Let's say we only got two SAPS members on a vehicle, or one vehicle for the precinct. A shooting occurs, that person dies. The SAPS vehicle needs to stand off at that incident, right? That means that there is no vehicle for the area. Now you've got theft, you've got this, you've got that. Because just because a shooting occurred doesn't mean that the crime has stopped. Just because a rape has occurred doesn't mean the crime has stopped. Just because a GBV incident has occurred, it doesn't mean the crime has stopped. Do you understand? So it's really a resource and a capacity thing. So SAPS needs to be innovative. Unfortunately, we can't have all the answers for them. That's just the reality, because you as SAPS management, or you as law enforcement management, you guys are there for a reason. You are management for a reason. Manage the situation. Be innovative. Think of something. We can't have all the answers for you. Do you understand? So in my opinion, in terms of what challenges SAPS and law enforcement in general are facing, it's just the resources. But at the end of the day, you're never going to have enough resources until you tackle the root causes of these issues.
Thank you. Lumkile, what are the biggest
I
challenges?
think
that
my comrade covered for me is exactly, it is the resources. The resources is a big issue. And the resources is broad, okay? And first, there's no privacy in the police station. One room, there are 8 police officers, and we come different cases, and there's no privacy. And 2, in terms of resources, a few staff of members, and also we had two police van in the one van, and also there are shortage of van, shortage of police, and also right now I saw the government trying to recruit, and also if this solution, if can we the SAPS and the law enforcement and the metro is working together and fighting the crime, I think is a little bit work, because of the law enforcement. There are a lot of law enforcement inside the car. Maybe in they have using the quantum, they are almost 10, and also they run moving up. And the SAPS only two on the one vehicle, and also one is a driver, one is a passenger. So it's difficult to catch the criminals. But if they work close with the law enforcement, I think so. And secondly, if our provincial or our national government provide the CCTV across those areas, sport areas, and also if can we implement the terms of all the vehicles, the SAPS vehicles, the private vehicles need to organize the private cars to put the cameras to search those tags, and also the police van. We need the vehicles inside and outside, and also we need the police that necklace cameras and on the bulletproof to if you are talking someone, it's just because some of the police people they shoot the police, but if the police have that camera on the chest and talking like the tags, and the tags try to shoot it, and then it's easier to know who's shooting that the policeman. But we need the resources, but we need government to put a lot of money, but we need to take out all those root potatoes and those corrupt police moving out, and to organize a strong police. And also some of the police station, they are new a young policemen came from the college, not have experience. We need to mix those people. And also, if example you put the people from Makhaza is working Makhaza, for me it's good, but sometimes it's bad. But why not taking that guy moving another area and take people from Misha's Plain or Tebettville working in Kailich? But you know about Kailich. Now is if you're putting the people from Kailich as working in Kailich, where did the friend come to arrest me? But they know me. We school together a long time ago. We are friends. We're training together. Come and arrest me. Why can we change? You take the police from Tebettville to come and work in Kailicha. Can you remove the police? And also that the government or the SAPS is not working the police for 25 years in one police station. It's never. You take the police maybe to 3 months, move another police station, to not people are sit down and understanding and comfortable to work this post. They know the tax. And you know the criminal, a lot of money, the criminals, they bribe the police. If you move I like the apartheid government. The apartheid government, they took police from Durban to come and work in Western Cape. Those people is the Zulu men. You're not speaking Xhosa, not speaking English. You're just doing their job. And people from Cape Town or Eastern Cape moving another provinces. Why our government not doing that strategy? But that strategy is working for us. There's no high rate of crime because we know those criminals. I'm a policeman. Why can I arrest that one? The police, they found that, hey, we have Operation Koga. Can you close it? Because they know those guys, and those guys, they donate those criminals a lot of money. Yeah, thanks.
All right. One of the points that the Minister of Finance made was that the SAPS, the police minister has requested that there be an allocation for technology, things like your body cameras that you mentioned, Lumkile, and also even for the vehicles, so somebody once said to me that the police want to use the old way to fight crime in this era where technology is very important. You're talking about CCTV cameras, you're talking about dash cams, you're talking about body cams, where if we had implemented those things when they came out, probably a lot of crime could have been solved right now. There are crimes that have never been solved. There are children that went missing. I mean, we still don't know where they are because most of the cameras that are out there don't even work. You go to Harare police station, there's a big camera there, But then an incident happened a few years ago outside that police station. They couldn't catch the criminals because the camera wasn't working. So let's just have some closing remarks. I'll start with you, JJ.
Okay. Well, look, I think that this battle is long from over, right? So this fight against crime, or this war against gangsterism, war against GBV, war against all these things. It's something that's gonna take a very very long time to do. You said something interesting, and that's that. But in terms of technology, right? If things were implemented back then already, maybe it would have been a bit. But I guess, there is no better time to start than now. And I guess that's what we are all doing here. But just as a parting shot, I would like to encourage members here to educate yourself on the laws, educate yourself on your rights, educate yourself on, the various things that you can do with the community.
JJ, I'm struggling to hear you. I don't know what's happening with your microphone.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. But anyway, so my main thing to everybody is just education. Educate yourself on your law, on the laws, on your rights. And also, if you see something, say something. I know this is a cliche. I also hate it. But if you see something, say something. Call in to SAPS, call in to whoever, and report these things, because at the end of the day, these things start at home. It starts in your community. It starts, with you saying something. If you say nothing, then you are just as much as complicit as you are to those who are perpetrating the crime. But yeah, that's unfortunately all I have. It's gonna take a long time, but I guess we just have to take it one step at a time, and we just have to hope that we can make a difference by joining together, working with others, to effect change.
Lumkile?
Before Lumkile,
Okay, thanks.
sorry.
And Wildlife, please, can you just have Lumkile?
I just want you to touch on safe houses as far as GBV is concerned with your closing statement.
I can't hear.
She's asking if you can
Can
speak
you repeat your
about
question?
the safe houses for GBV victims because this is now your closing remark. So she's asking if you can touch on to that issue.
Thanks. First, I want to start that safe house. This is a huge challenge in terms of the safe house, because if you remember, Kylie, Chief Nongeba, there are few of safe house, and this is a challenge. We need more safe house, and yeah, first one, and also they need people to be search the information, and people who need to be involved, different need people to work together, and need people. Example, in terms of law, there's an organization called People's Law. Need people go there and Google that one. There's a information, their training, their workshop free of charge of that organization about the laws. And our slogan from Matoda Koto: be the change you want to be see. Be the change you want to see. So I encourage people to be in part terms of assisting, terms of fighting gender-based violence, assisting of fighting crime. In just sit down and look, Lumkile is doing this. Can we part whatever way, but be part of how can you assist the community? What if the little things is good for us? We as activists, we want people to be involved of the things, inform us what's going on, and working together to fight those things. People, if they're quiet, as science, we are encouraging the crime, we are encouraging the gender-based violence. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, everybody. You have made tonight special for just because you were here. Thank you so much for talking to the people. And I've seen a comment that says that you have brought so much knowledge to people, some of the things they didn't know about. And thank you so much for bringing that knowledge, and also for being part of the first episode of On the Couch with Mandilake. And I hope that you will come back to us, and we will have you. Maybe we could even have you guys every week. We don't know. We'll see. But I'm very excited that you were part of this, guys. And you know what? It was really a short notice. I know Lumkile, I called him this morning, and then he was like, okay, fine, I'll join. You know, JJ, I called you yesterday, and you obliged also. Thank you so much. You are so special to me, guys. You don't understand. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So I'm going to stay behind. You guys, you can go ahead and log out. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for having us, sir.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Lumkile.
much.
Thank you,
All the time, activists are free all the time.
JJ. And go
It turns out.